I went to the hospital to get a physical done because I had to have the carotid artery fixed. And I went in there to just be tested, and they found out my heart wasn't beating right. It was like rapid, really fast. It didn't have a heartbeat. So they sent me straight down to ER, and they put me to sleep, and they shocked my heart to get it back in rhythm. And they put me in the hospital that day, and I stayed there for 10 days. And after that, I went to, they did the surgery on my neck while I was still in there, so they didn't send me home. So I knew there was something wrong. I just didn't want to go to the hospital. I didn't want to have to stay. I wouldn't have if I didn't have to go get those tests done. And I'm glad I did now, because it saved my life. So I'm here now.
When I came out to see Joann, when she came home from the hospital, we talked about a lot of different things. We talked about, first of all, her medications, and I observed that she had a great system in place. She had her Medi-Set, she had her schedule, and seemed really on top of her medications, what she was taking, what they were for, and how she was supposed to take them. So that was really great. I did introduce the personal health record to her as well, and talked about the things that she could write down in there, like her goals, her medications if she wanted to, questions she might have for the doctors or home health nurses, that type of thing. And we also talked about what led up to her going to the hospital, what kind of events and signs and symptoms and decisions led up to that hospitalization, so that she could really have a chance to reflect on that and kind of put the pieces together to find the things that she could learn from those preceding events.
But she did. She helped me out a lot, and I looked forward to her visits. I really looked forward to her visits, and I told her that. Wonderful, wonderful girl. And I just feel like I could talk to her about anything I wanted to talk to her about. She was very just relaxed with no matter what we talked about. And she even said, "Joann, if you have any problems, you can call me at home." And I said, "I can?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, God, I appreciate that." And I did. I really did.
Sometimes when people are able to really tell their story and reflect on what happened, that's when they can, really have those aha moments and put some pieces together and, and are able to kind of learn from those events and those decisions going forward to really prevent a rehospitalization. And working with another patient and his wife currently, when I went out to see them, they had a lot of what I would say uneasiness about coming home from the hospital. It was the first time I think really either of them had that kind of experience, and to be in the hospital for 10 days. They came home, they seemed very overwhelmed, and they had questions about the medications. They were very organized and had a nice little system and knew what things were for, but still had questions about why he was no longer on a medication he was on in the hospital. There was some discrepancies with the discharge summary that I was able to go over with them and help them formulate the questions to be able to call the doctor and clear those up. And after I left that day, I just felt like they had a real sense of relief.
One thing I still worry about is maybe my heart going out of rhythm and I'd end up back at the hospital. That's the only thing. Or maybe having a stroke or a heart attack. I mean, it can happen. My arteries aren't that good. And my heart's what put me in there, so I just hope I'm just going to live it day by day. I'm going to do what I want to do, eat what I want to eat, go where I want to go, and I like life. I might be 74, but I don't feel 74. I don't. I feel great, but I got to just go take it day by day. That's what I'm going to do.